Welcome back to the Delmarva Sports Insider. We've knocked out the Eagles as well as the Redskins. Still got one more team to cover, Jeff.
Yeah, Trey, and that team is the Baltimore Ravens. Yep. Finished last season a little bit under what they were expecting to, and even 500 at 8-8, just missing the playoffs.
Yep, one thing Baltimore really wants to get back to doing is having a dominant defense as they've done over those past championship years. They try to get that done with some picks this weekend, especially with the plethora of cornerbacks in the draft.
A lot of cornerbacks, but one of those cornerbacks selected 16th overall was introduced just yesterday evening. 47 ABC Sports reporter Haley Mylon was there.
With the 16th pick in the 2017 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Marlon Humphrey, defensive back from Alabama.
That was the moment Marlon Humphrey had waited his entire life for.
It's definitely a blessing to be, asked to be a part of that legacy and part of this team.
In the Humphrey household, it seems Dad knows best. His father, Bobby Humphrey, played in the NFL for both the Broncos and for the Dolphins.
I say you're tall and you're so physical, you like to hit, and he's like, no, I like scoring touchdowns. I don't want to play running backs. I said, well, if you get an interception and running back, you get 2 for 1.
If it weren't for his father's encouragement to play defense, Humphrey wouldn't be where he is today.
Just keep hearing that, eventually you're like, I'll go defense. And it just sounds a little better, like, you want to get hit, you want to hit somebody, it just sounds a lot better the other way.
General Manager Ozzie Newsome says the franchise has had its eyes on Humphrey for quite some time. They love his size, they love his speed. He's built like the ideal cornerback at 6 feet tall and 197 pounds. He's got a big wingspan. He'll be able to defend the pass.
He might just be a game changer. The secondary has been an issue for Baltimore. This offseason, they added safety Tony Jefferson and cornerback Brandon Carr.
We like to pressure. We like to play man coverage. We like to get up in your face. Well, that's why this guy's sitting right here beside me.
Being a first-round draft pick was one of Humphrey's life goals. He's hoping he can accomplish the rest of his goals wearing purple.
Most of them come true, so I'm hoping the Super Bowl and this Pro Bowl will come true too.
Very physical player they got in Marlon Humphreys. Obviously, like we said, with Jonathan Allen, a player who comes from Alabama, and we know those players are built to play in the NFL, coming from Nick Saban and the Nick Saban's type program. But definitely a solid pick for the Ravens and a position of need.
A position of need, and something worth noting also, Trey, is that, going into the second and third rounds yesterday, about midway through the third, there were over 20 cornerbacks taken off of the board. That was an NFL draft record. And Marlon Humphrey, widely considered one of the best in this draft. We saw, him being taken at 16. We saw another stud in Marshawn Lattimore going to the Saints at 11. But Marlon Humphrey, being coached by Nick Saban,
probably the best coach,
will be able to transition to the NFL.
I'll tell you what I think happened, and we haven't talked about this before. I'll tell you what I think happened. There were so many corners in the draft that I think people just started to devalue them. That's why you saw Lattimore, a kid that you saw top 5, top 10, go outside of the top 10, and people just, kind of waited on the defensive backs because there were so many. That's what I think happened anyway.
Well, coming up after the break, Trey and I are going to break down some of our final thoughts about the past few days in Philly and who our respective teams, the Eagles, picked up.
Right.
We are the Mardella Warriors baseball team, and you're watching the Delmarva Sports Insider.